something else that I thought was pretty neat to kind of focus on a little bit too was yeah. I mean, Rob and I actually talked about this a little bit last week. What were your experiences with Scott Dimore? Did you have any, Sabu? Or
Yeah. I was with Scott since he first started.
oh, okay.
In the
Oh
80s.
yeah, that's right. Rob was talking about that. That's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I helped break him in years ago.
Mhm.
85, I think. 86, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so I've had 5 matches with AEW, and I'm thinking my win loss right now is is win loss is 2-3, right? Is that how you would say that?
Yeah, 2 and 3.
2-3, I guess. Yeah, whatever. Um, and I can see the fans either pulling for me, to get a major push, or I could see me as fitting in, more to be there to work with some of their guys, whatever. But jobbing is such a funny thing in the wrestling business, and wrestling, the business itself is like so phenomenal, and it stands out. It's so extraordinary from other businesses for so many reasons. But when you think about it, like, people really, really, really care, like, who wins and loses. You know what I mean? Like, if you take a match,
The fans do, yes.
yeah, like take a match that the fans are wrapped up in, like the Cody Rhodes WrestleMania match,
Yeah.
or whatever. Like if something that happens where the fans don't agree with it, in the finish, and the wrong guy goes down or whatever, they're gonna like pull their hair out, like, that was so stupid. Why would they do that with them? And even though a finish like that would be designed to get some heat, so I guess that then it works, right? Um, but the fans are really, like, if someone loses a few times, then they're gonna be like, dude, you're just jobbing him out and wasting it. And it's funny when you look at it um, for what it is, from a different perspective. Like, let's say, you're someone that you're I don't know. You got the skills, and it's something you're able to, from a professional world. You got skills. It's something you're able to make a decent living at, and has these benefits, and boom, boom, boom. And when it comes down to it, in the end, like, everyone is so convinced that they know how everything works and stuff, down to the finish. But then when it comes down to really who wins or loses, that's really what people remember. A lot of them, like, even if it's their favorite guy, even if he gets screwed over, and the entire locker room does a run in one by one, and does their finish on him, and they finally beat him, they're still gonna be like, "Oh, that's bullshit, man." It's really a funny thing when you look at it, when you break in. Like, first off, when you start out, it's like Sabu taught me, doesn't matter what they do with you, what they call you, anything. Get as much ring time as you can. Don't worry about each night. They're all individual nights. Boom, boom, boom. And then at a certain point, there's guys that, like, if they'll get bad reputations for being for refusing to put other stars over, or put other wrestlers over, or they get a reputation for not wanting to do the job. And so you look at them from the locker room mentality, like, dude, what an asshole, doesn't he know it's at work? But in reality, when each time you do that, it actually affects the pathway of your career and how much money you're going to make. You know what I mean? Like, imagine, so it's so weird. There's so many different ways to it, because if you're in WWE and you're, I don't know if I need to name it, anyone of upper echelon, say you're Triple H and you're still wrestling, and say you fight, you have to win every single match, but then in the end you're the one that's getting all the money, that's in all the main events and everything. Well, then it's like you win. So who's stupid in the end? who's being an asshole in the end,
Like short-term thinking kind of thing.
Well,
you're thinking. Yeah, when it comes
like when I do independent shows, when I used to wrestle,
Mhm.
I would say I want this much to win, this much to lose. They go, why? I said, if you're going to use me to get a rub for this guy, you have to pay me for it. Now, if you just want me to win and have people pop in your show, that's nothing. You want me to give a rub to somebody, you got to pay for it.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. I like that. That's pretty
And
good.
I've always had, and 90% of them was, okay, you win.
Yeah. Nobody wants to be like, all right, we're gonna put this guy up. That's great strategy because you're like, all right, I'll win and I get paid. It works out.
But you're right. When I was in WWE, I got a very good reaction the first few months. But as I lost every match, I had a good reaction, and each night it was lower and lower. Finally, they were saying bullshit. And then, then I blew my top.
Yep. Yep.
They want it you want to give the fans
Now, winning and everything, but in the eyes of the fans, it is.
It really is, yeah. Even if it's a finish where clearly, the dude's foot was on the ropes, ref didn't see it, it was screwed. Yeah, they still look at it as like this guy went down. Ooh, bullshit.
Now, the only guy who doesn't get affected by losing is Sandman, because he's drunk. He should lose. But well, it kind of hurts them. That's why when I would do a job, I kind of beat myself. I'd bleed a lot,
Yeah,
myself.
Yeah. I was in the same position, thinking of how much effort I wanted to put into that and how much to help with everyone else's programs that are more of, really a part of the main show than me, who's just stepping into it, because I considered a lot of ideas. So yeah, this is some shit that you may or may not think of, but I just thought that I would bring it up because it's, it used to be like when we watched wrestling before I guess, started training, maybe even still around that time, but it was the day of the jobbers, the enhancement matches. It was always one guy. Yeah, it was definitely still then because I did it. I had that Matt Burt, that Matt Burt moment. Yeah.
I mean, I did it too, but not with Vince, but yeah.
Yeah. And it was like one guy, it was his job just to, he was there to get experience and to get the rub, and so I was in the ring with Ric Flair, even if Ric Flair just beat the shit out of him.
Right.
And it was guys that had enough talent to make the guy look good and still, were on their way up. Usually some guys were like career jobbers though, right? Yeah. Some guys were over before, like Iron Mike Sharp was a big star in Canada, but then in WWE, then he's the number one jobber.
Yeah, Lanny Poffo too. Those guys made more jobs and less stress. They got to go home every time there was promos.
That's it. Yeah, that was it.
And you think, they understand. We all have a story that we're telling, and they understand their job. They get their assignment. It's to make this guy look good or whatever. But in the most honest, behind all the layers of it, do you think anybody really wants to lose?
No. Only want to lose if it means more pay, and then but still,
that is good incentive. True, that's good incentive.
Even though it's a work, everybody's saying, "Man, I hope I win. I hope I win."
And it can sound silly, but then when you look at it in the business end of it, really, those are the guys that are going to get ahead, are the ones that win the matches, and then they're going to be making more money and being higher on the card. And so you're not just being selfish, you're also protecting your own career interests. It's a really weird, fickle thing to mess with, especially because, we're just the flesh. The meatheads in the dressing room that are being peddled, and so it's weird from our perspective. We look at it, like that's bullshit.
Yeah,
but it is a perception thing too. Like you talk about that too. It's just like, hey, you have an image that you want to uphold and kind of keep going with that, and if you keep like losing and stuff like that, that gets in the fans' minds, or you think it does, at least to some of them. And you kind of want to have that balance of it all.
I've read comments online from fans that have called me both Job Van Dam and No Job Rob, No Job Rob, I think, or something like that. And either one of those, that I have much to say about it. It's just them.
Well, they're trying to get a rub from you, and you have to be somebody that wants for somebody to want to take a rub from you.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't take rub from nobody's.
Right.
Unless you got enough money and you go to the rub and tug,
Rub and tug.
whatever it is.
Is that the other tag team name? There's Choke and Smoke, and then there's Rub and Tug.
Yeah. Partners of Slobber and Jobber.
Slobber and Jobber. That's
Those are good names.